Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Front Porch Podcast at the Old Sawtooth Store. It's Saturday, June 1st, and you have Don and Bill here today. Hey, Bill.
Hello, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Bill. It's been a great day, hasn't it?
It has been an interesting day today. It's been a very, very fascinating day, very enjoyable day.
We had a big crowd right off the bat, and we had a really good music session today. We had several players came by and played and sang,
and we had a lot of guests out here. I set up all the folding chairs we had, whatever you call those canvas chairs, and they were all full some of the time, and people were standing around and singing some along with us. And several folks that I told them about it yesterday, that were guests yesterday, came in as customers yesterday, that came back today and just hung around, and that was kind of fun to meet people again. And we've advertised and talked enough about the music that people are looking forward to it coming in, and I get phone calls from time to time about people planning to come to hear the music and get to know the store. So that's been it was really nice today. It was just a neat sound, just a really relaxing day.
Yeah, we had our friend April Rooks, who is a local singer-songwriter, and she stopped by and sang and played with us for a good while.
She's got some pipes, man. She really sings well.
She really sounds great. And she has actually across the street from the store, she has opened an office recently, and she represents a foundation that does music lessons for children who otherwise would not be able to have music lessons. And she has volunteers that come and teach the lessons to the kids, and it's just really making the kids have something to build their self-esteem, and they're becoming great musicians. Some of them are going to Nashville and various other places, and we just appreciate her coming by and appreciate what she does for the kids.
Yeah, she's a remarkable lady. She's a mom. She's takes care of her own children, and she's a delightful lady, and plays so well, and so innovative in her music. Yeah, we had a good balance of different things today musically, and some of our folks weren't here, but that play with us sometimes. We had the majority of our group here that's here regular with us, and as I tell folks all the time, if you play, come along, and we usually have an extra guitar if you don't have yours with you, and we'll let you play a song or two with us, or sing a song with us. It's always available.
I was out here on the picking porch most of the day, but did you have a good crowd that come through the store?
We had a lot of people today. It was interesting. We started off really, really fast this morning. We had a lot of people, and then it slowed down a little bit, but we had people today was South Carolina and South America Day. I don't know why it worked that way, but we had people from all over South Carolina. Matter of fact, I think there's some people from South Carolina in the store right now, but we also had, of course, there's a lot of other places, but we had Colombia, as in Colombia, the country of Colombia, we had Argentina, we had Venezuela, Costa Rica in Central America, and Nicaragua, all today that I remember, and Cuba today. So we had a lot of Spanish-speaking people. I don't know if we had any from Brazil or not. We sometimes do, but my Spanish is exceedingly limited. But I really enjoy trying to talk to them a little bit in Spanish, particularly about the cider, and it's a lot of fun. Let them tell me words and that they express. And there's some word that means extremely tasty, beyond muy delicioso, which means very, very good. There was another word that lady was trying to express to me about the peach cider today, how much she loved it. It was the next level of good, or tasty to her. But it was fun to listen to them talk. But they are very gracious folks, and they came in the store fascinated with the history of the store. And of course, I give just a brief history to most anybody who'll listen, and which most people are very interested in it when they come in. But nonetheless, we had a lot of folks, and yesterday we had quite a few people from the north, as in northeast, up in New York area. And our book, by the way, is about full up. We're going to have to get a new registration, well, guest book, whatever we call it. We ask folks to sign their name and where they're from. It isn't a mailing address. It isn't something we use for marketing. It's just something for our own interest. But I notice we're on the last page, the last part of the last page. So very soon, probably before the weekend's out or first of the week, we'll have to get a new book.
Yeah, going into the busy season now, we need to get that replaced.
Well, it'll get, because that's just the last year and a half, I guess, that book's represented. It is packed full of names, and of course, not everybody signs, but that shows you how many people have been in this store.
We also had Parks Davis here with us today. Parks lives here in the area now, or has a home here in the area, also has a home in Gainesville, Georgia. And he has really long-term family ties back to this area, and we were able to get a separate segment with him, and we'll share that in a different.
He'll be talking about the history of
the history of his family in this community, and their role, and how he came to be here, and some of the things he did in his life. It was very interesting. We'll have that on a separate bonus episode here shortly. But we had a lot of motorcycles. We had some old cars.
Yeah, we had some people from Detroit this week, and they were quite familiar with the early Ford V8 show we went to last year.
Bill and I had an opportunity to go to Dearborn, Michigan, to the 60th anniversary of the early Ford V8 Automobile Club. I had just restored a 1934 Ford pickup truck, and finished it. My dad and some friends had done most of the work on that, but we finished it up and were able to carry it up to this show. And it's, if you're into old cars at all, you may know about it, but it's sort of the World Series of old car shows, and the competition is very stiff, and the judges are very, very strict.
Yeah,
we found out.
Very nitpicky.
But we went, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But so here we go off to Michigan, and we get over to just about to get over onto I-75 to get on the interstate, and our GPS told us that there had been an accident and that we needed to detour, and we detoured, and we're pulling this big car hauling trailer, and Bill and I, and we're headed north as fast as we can. This road gets narrower and narrower, and then it turned to one lane, and then it turned to dirt.
Yeah, we were dirt before there, yeah.
And I remember going through a one-lane bridge that was half closed, and I don't know how we got through that. But Bill, you do a lot of traveling in the Middle East, and I'm not sure how, but here we are in the middle of the North Carolina mountains, and I'm hearing all kinds of banjos and things like that, and your GPS starts talking.
I guess it was in Hebrew, yeah.
In Hebrew, which was not helpful to me. And I was getting more frustrated because we'd been about 30 or 40 miles that we were going to have to back up all the way to get out of this place. And we never did get your phone changed over.
No, I've forgotten how. I think I ended up having to go into the phone store and let them get me out of that, because somehow I got, and I don't remember ever putting it in that. I think one of my friends, I really do, when I'd just come back from the Middle East when we were doing that, and I think one of my friends did that to me, and I could not get it out of there. He was speaking to me, goodness, I have no idea what it was telling us.
Well, it was urgent, whatever it was saying. I mean, it was telling us something, but I didn't understand it. So just as I was about to give up and get out and walk, the road widened out a little bit, and came to more and more back to normal situation. And the next thing I know, we're in back on at least paved streets again. But then we went about 30 or 40 miles on this stretch, and I've never seen any more churches on a single road in my life.
It was crazy. Every bend, matter of fact, from one you could see another.
There were churches that had shared parking lots between them.
Yeah.
I think we counted about 30 churches on this 10 or 15 mile stretch of road, and probably no more than 10 houses on that same road.
Somebody got mad about the color of the carpet, and they said, I'm going to move across and start me another church. Probably called it Harmony.
Probably all related to each other.
Harmony number 1 and Harmony number 2.
They're all related to each other.
I mean, it really did get comical. We could.
I can't remember the name of that road. I wished I could.
I can see it in my head. It was funny.
But anyway, after that, we made it on to Michigan.
Some rough roads, even the interstates were rough.
The roads up there, after you get past North Carolina gets
It
kind of
vibrated that car, so it was parked straight and it was tight down tight, but it vibrated enough that when we opened it up, it was a little cockeyed inside the trailer.
It was another fraction of an inch. It would have been into the wall.
Yeah.
But we were lucky. We were able to win the award that we went for, and
Absolutely.
we don't have to go. We don't have to do that again, Bill.
Yeah. It was kind of fun to think back on it, though.
Seems fun now.
Yeah.
Not
It was
so
a little tense for a moment or two, especially on those little narrow roads.
Yeah.
That trailer seemed wider than it really is.
Yeah.
And when you're afraid nobody's going to be able to get around you or pass you.
We have a lot of old car enthusiasts in this area, and maybe we can get them to some of those groups to come by and visit
We
with us
may need to
sometime.
do that. It would be fun because of the nature of the store. Because even though we talk about it being 1872, and of course that was horse and buggy and horses and buckboards and et cetera at that time, but it was still very active all through the teens and the 20s and the 30s. Whenever the old cars that we think of as old cars now were very much part of this community. And we even got a gas pump out there, and I don't know how much gas they sold, but it must have sold.
Well, there's a receipt in there on the wall that where they got a shipment of gas. It was 55 gallons, which is a drum.
Yeah.
Was the entire order, and the gas was 11 cents per gallon. It was from Standard Oil Company. The total invoice was $5.94. And Mr. Allen Williams, who ran the store at the time, his name was on that receipt. But I'm reading this when I first saw it and dusting off to see when it was. It was 1915. So somebody was here the other day saying that they remember gas being 9 cents a gallon, but I don't believe they really did if it was before 1915.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Standard Oil Company. That was Rockefeller that owned that, and it was in the early 1870s when this store was just new. When the government broke it up, he had 90%, I think, of all the oil at that point, and the monopoly. And I don't know the details of it. I just read a smidgen of it, but I know that he broke that company up. When you mentioned Standard, I still think about what all's going on in the life of this store, things that are going on in our nation that are just quite amazing. But I'd love to have some old cars sitting out here and people enjoying them. We've got several friends that have them, and
A lot of baseball players were here today too. Young men, high school age, I guess, middle school and high school.
we had a family come in a minute ago, and the dad was telling me about they were here for a baseball tournament, but they were moving fishing rods back and forth between vehicles. I asked them how they use their fishing rods with the baseball, and of course they tried to explain to me they were doing more than just baseball today.
In between games,
Yeah, they went fishing. Yeah,
well, that's not a bad plan.
yeah, they were from all over.
It was a tournament
Georgia.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's here in White County. Yeah. And then we had balloons this weekend.
we did. Helen to the Atlantic balloon race was
Right.
this weekend. The balloons launch in Helen, Georgia,
Yeah,
and the first one to cross the interstate, I-95, is declared the winner.
is that right?
And I think this year, if I don't know the name of the winner, but I believe it was 7 hours and just a few minutes, which was the record since they've been having the race today.
Yeah, they several of the crew members came in of different balloon groups. Matter of fact, one of the fellas that had the balloon, he was from Wisconsin, but his crew was from here in Georgia, and they'd worked together a lot of years together. But those are fascinating to see. I mean, they're so huge and beautiful, and so our county is very ancient, but it's also very new as well, very current. And
I kind of understand the up and down process on those, but the side to side and how you steer them, I'm not sure.
I don't have a clue.
I think you may just be kind of at the mercy of the wind.
Well, I know they get into, they know where the wind is,
Where
where
the
it's
jet
blowing, which
stream
direction
is.
going, jet streams, and they get into that to get them over there. But still, it's not a toy.
No, it's serious business. You know, there have been a few accidents over the years around these parts, and a couple of fatalities even. In fact, the founder of Helen, Georgia, or the man credited with the idea of making Helen what it is today, was killed in a balloon accident.
Is that right? I didn't know that. No. Well, it's cool today.
Unusually cool.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought we were going to have to go get jackets on this
Yeah.
morning.
Well, our producer here is wearing a jacket, and I almost could use one now. I mean, I've got a long sleeve shirt on, but that air is kind of cool coming in there.
Yeah, it's a little overcast and a little breeze blowing, but it's cooler than usual. But I'm not going to complain. It's going to be hot soon enough.
I guarantee it is. And tomorrow will be a big day, I'm sure, at the store. We're supposed to get a little rain, but rain doesn't hurt us around here. When it rains, people enjoy coming to the store.
Yeah, it's hard to predict. I think the weather prediction has more impact than the weather itself.
Yeah, people are afraid what it's going to be.
Well,
this,
they're
that, and the
here,
other.
and then what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
actually get, they're not so afraid of.
Yeah, I just noticed our map there in the window over there. A lot of people look at that map, but I was noticing in the new Mountain Life magazine, there's a wonderful map, overall view of our whole area with us right in the middle of it, and it really quite a fascinating place. Customers and motorcycles still driving by. We can hear them strong. This is a busy road. Lots of people going in and out.
Bill, I got a new toy this week.
Yeah, I saw that. Tell me about that.
I went into a local music store for to pick up some small item a month ago, and I saw this little electric lap steel guitar. I've been trying to play the dobro, as you know, and it's the same instrument except electric, and it was sitting in this little store out on the floor, and it had dust on it. It looked like it had been there for years. Was down in Gainesville, that's where the store is, in Gainesville this week, and I just couldn't resist. I pulled in and got that thing, and it's blue. It's a pretty color, dark blue, midnight blue, or something like that. So I'm going to name it Blue.
Okay, Old Blue or
Old
Young Blue.
or, yeah, maybe Old Blue. So I brought it today and was so proud I was going to try to play it, and I didn't bring the cord. We're not accustomed to having to have chords here.
We'll
play everything
have to
acoustic.
crank that up next week for sure. Yeah, I had something funny. I always say that when I play the piano, if I sing loud enough, people think I play well. A lady came up to me today and says, "Wow, I didn't know you played that well." Well, I don't. And you know I don't. I just sang loud today, and I faced didn't face the crowd. I faced the band, so they couldn't see me play. But boy, she was hearing somebody else play, I guess, because she thought I was playing well. I mean, as long as I can play in G, I can pretty well do it. But much past that,
If you got plenty of good players, all you have to do is look good.
yeah, that's right. It's a smile, yeah. And I could have sworn just now I saw a deer back here, and I've seen more deer. He just went by to the down that lower level back behind the store, and I could have sworn he went from my right to my left, and it may not been, but either that or it's a floater. I have to talk to my eye man about it, but I think it was a deer. We've had usually don't see them running so much this time of year.
No.
I mean, but I've seen them several lately.
He better stay back there instead of getting out on this road.
Yeah, we'll be scraping him off the road. Pardon me for bringing up an ugly subject, but that we don't want him to get hit out here.
They love grapes, or grapevines at least. I planted some grapevines several years ago at our house, and every spring they come out, and it's so pretty, and overnight, every time, the deer come in and eat them down to the ground, and that's that for the...
One of our guests early this morning came in and was admiring our flowers, and we talk about our flowers all the time. And so she last year took pictures, and so she planted a garden. And every time these flowers, very similar to what we have, She was telling me today the deer ate them. She says she never got a flower one because as the plants came up, the deer got them before she could do it. So she was so disappointed. So she was taking more pictures and trying to do more research how she can protect them from the deers because they do look so beautiful out there. I thought a lady was trying to take a picture of me because I was standing up here on the porch. She was taking pictures of flower, and I was trying to not look too mean or had a smile. And then I realized, why am I smiling? She's not taking a picture of me. She's taking a picture of them.
I tell you, a couple of weeks ago, we had a couple that came up, backed in, got out, harvested about half of them,
Oh,
put them
my
in the back of their car.
That's tacky. I hope they're listening today and realize. I hope every one of them wilted fast. Yeah, that's.
Well, I guess that's pretty much wraps it up for another Saturday at the Old Salty Store and on the Front Porch Podcast.
Yeah, it's always fun just to kind of think back about how the day and how the week's gone. And we look forward to what's going to happen in the days to come because we've got a great summer ahead of us. And as our music continues, as the store continues, and all the good things, it's going to be a great summer at the Old Salty Store.
And we hope all of you will come and visit us when you can, and when you can't, you'll tune in to our podcast and see what's going on at the Old Salty Store. Bill, thanks again. It's always a pleasure, and we'll look forward to seeing you
Absolutely.
next week.
It's going to be a good one. God bless you, man. Take care.